Alright, our Unit 8 review for rational functions. If you are dividing two fractions, you want to turn it into multiplication, and then you want to flip these two, flip this fraction, find the reciprocal. So 3 over 2x is going to is going to be multiplied by 4x to the 7th over 27. Okay, so next thing we can do is multiply these coefficients. The regular coefficients, 3 times 4 is 12. Bring over that x to the 7th. And then the coefficients on the bottom, 2 times 27 is 54. Bring over that x. And then we can use our calculator to reduce those fractions, or we can do it mental math. So 12 over 54 reduces to 2 over 9. And then notice the bottom x is a exponent of 1. So what we do is we take these two exponents that are being divided and then we subtract them. So 7 minus 1 gives us x to the 6th power. We're going to put that on top because the bigger number is on top. So 7 minus 1 is 6. All right, and that's it. So on number 2, we're going to multiply. Before we can even multiply, okay, so we need to factor this and factor this so we can kind of see what can eliminate. So to factor this, we need that 9, that c value right here. Find all of the factors of 1 and 9. So 1 times 9, negative 1 times negative 9, 3 times 3, and negative 3 times negative 3. And which one of these pairs is going to add up to make this middle term negative 6? And the answer is negative 3 and negative 3. So when I rewrite this, I'm going to have two parentheses, x minus 3, x minus 3. And then on the bottom, 2 and 10 have a common factor of 2. So when I divide this by 2, I get x, and when I divide this by 2, I get 5. Okay? Now multiplying that times x plus 5 over x minus 3, I can start reducing and canceling things out. So I see x plus 5 and x plus 5 can cancel. X minus 3 and x minus 3 can cancel, so I'm just left with x minus 3 over 2. Alright, number 3, I need to find the common denominator if I want to add these together. Now, x plus 3 and x, they both look like they share an x, but this is a whole binomial, right? So the only way to get a common denominator is to multiply the first one by x, and to multiply the right one by x plus 3. So I'm going to take this first fraction and multiply it by x, and I'm going to take the second fraction and multiply it by x plus 3 on top. Okay, so on top, 10 times x is 10x, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 3 is 9. And then on the bottom, x times x plus 3, x times x is x squared, x times 3 is 3x. And then my last step is I can combine like terms. 10x plus 3x is 13x, plus 9 over x squared plus 3x. You could have also left it as just x minus x plus 3. Either way, okay? Right there, either way. Okay, over here, number 4, same idea. 3 and x. By the way, when you see subtraction, you turn that into a plus sign and put the negative to the right. So 3 and x, the LCD, the least common denominator, is going to be 3x. 3 goes into 3x, x goes into 3x. So we're going to take this first fraction and multiply it by x. And then we're going to take this second fraction and multiply it by 3. So when I do this, I'm going to get x times x is x squared, x times negative 5 is negative 5x, negative 9 times 3 is negative 27, and that leaves me with 3x on the bottom. Cool. You could factor that as well, potentially. Alright, number 5. Once again, my least common denominator. I have x minus 2. Oh, so this time I'm not simplifying. I want you to notice that. There's a difference between simplifying and solving. Solving has to do with an equal sign, okay? So when you solve, that's when you cross multiply. Okay? Don't cross multiply for simplifying, but definitely if there's an equal sign. So 2 times x is 2x equals, and 3 times x minus 2, you can distribute that 3. 3 times x is 3x, 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And then you can solve for x. You get rid of the smaller x. Now, if everything cancels, that's 0. 3 minus 2 is 1x. And you get rid of the minus 6 by adding 6 to both sides. 0 plus 6 is 6. On number 6, though, you can only add them if they have a least common denominator. So since x minus 4 and 5 don't have one, you got to multiply them together. 5 times x minus 4. So this first fraction that already has x minus 4 is going to need to be multiplied by 5 on both, on the top and the bottom. The second fraction is going to need to be multiplied by x minus 4 on the bottom and the top. And the other side of the equation already has x minus 4, so you're going to need to multiply by 5 on the bottom and the top. So let's do that math. 5 times 4 is 20 over 5x minus 4 plus 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8 over 5x minus 4 equals, and 8 times 5 is 40 over 5x minus 4. When the denominator, the bottom, is all the same, in an equation with an equal sign, you can cross them out. And now we have 20 plus 2x minus 8 equals 40. Let's combine like terms. The 20 minus 8 is 12. So I got 2x plus 12 equals 40. And we can get rid of this loner 12 by subtracting 12 from both sides. So it gives me 28. And I can divide by 2. And x equals 14. Alrighty. Number 7. Again, if you see an equal sign, you can cross multiply and divide. Okay. So when we cross multiply, 5 times 3x is 15x. 10 times x plus 2, we're going to have to distribute that. So 10 times x is 10x. 10 times 2 is 20. Get rid of the smaller x if it's on both sides. And then get rid of that coefficient that's being multiplied by dividing by 5. 20 over 5 should give you 4. Same thing here. If you have an equal sign, a whole number is over 1. So when you cross multiply, you're going to have x squared minus x minus 6 equals. And then when you cross multiply this, you're going to distribute 3 times x minus 3. So let's distribute that. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Okay. Now, when you have x squared in an equation, you want to set equal to 0. So let's get rid of this right side. Let's subtract 3x to get rid of a positive. And then let's get rid of this minus 9 by adding 9. So now we have it equals 0. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4x. Negative 6 plus 9 is 3. Okay. Could you take that and factor it now? Remember, we need to find the numbers that multiply to make 3, which is just 1 times 3, and negative 1 times negative 3. Which one gives me negative 4? This one. So it's going to be x minus 1 and x minus 3. And then you can set it into two equations. X minus 1 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0, and solve. So x equals 1, x equals 3, and then which ones are extraneous? The extraneous is if the denominator equals 0. So right here, if I plug in 3, 3 minus 3 equals 0. So I cannot have 3. So x equals 1 is my only answer. I can't plug in 3 back into the original equation because that'd be 3 minus 3 is 0 on the bottom. You cannot have 0 in your denominator. Okay. Alright, so last page here, number 9. The time it takes to paint a room varies inversely with the number of painters. So 3 painters take 8 hours. How long would it take 12 painters? How long is x time? So if I just divide by 12, 3 times 8 divided by 12, that should give me 2 hours. Alright, it takes 5 mowers, 14 minutes to complete a certain yard. How long will it take 2 mowers? Okay, well, same idea. 5 times 14 equals 2 times x. How long? That's an x amount of time. So again, you're going to divide by 2 to get x by itself. So x equals 35 when you do the math. Okay, so you can graph this and see the parameter changes. But remember, insiders lie horizontally, and its outsiders do not lie. They're vertical. So plus 8 means it goes left 8, and then that plus 9 means it went up 9. And then the asymptotes, remember x equals that value right there. But remember, it's a lie. It's that positive 8. X equals negative 8 is my vertical asymptote. And then my horizontal asymptote is y equals the y value here, which is 9. All right. Same thing over here. Now, right here, this is going to tell you something that it reflects over the x-axis. Remember, that's a lie. So it goes right 1, and then over here, that's down 8. All right, and then vertical and horizontal asymptotes. The vertical asymptote, remember, the insider lies, so -1 is going to be x equals +1. And the horizontal is going to be y equals -8. Cool. And then down here, the domain and range. So notice the domain goes forever left, forever right, except it does not touch 5, right? So the domain is all real numbers except x does not equal that 5. And range goes down forever, up forever, except it does not touch right here on this line at +1. So the range is all real numbers, but y is not equal to 1. Okay. So this domain where it doesn't touch on those asymptotes helps us. So the horizontal, remember horizontal is y equals, and horizontally it does not touch right here at the +1. And then vertically, that's an x equals situation. It does not touch vertically right here at +5. So my parameter changes are that it is a shift right 5 and then